Hello and welcome. This is Krista from the Online Selling Show, and I felt like I needed to do a second part to my theme of talking about how to network with estate sale companies. And I just got off a phone call not long ago. This was with the gentleman who owned the estate sale for the sale I went to last week. That was me buying all the vintage Christmas. He's got another sale coming up this week with a lot more vintage Christmas. And again, I contacted him just to get an idea where in this property was the location of these products, and trying to, make it so that when I get in that door, I could just easily go to that location. And I talk about in the first one about like the integrity of your business and respect. And I'm showing now in this second one, like I had in this third contact with him, which was my second phone call, already validation and proof, but it led me to also have some other things that maybe I should mention in some of the considerations also with trying to network with people. And the reasoning I'm wanting to network is what we all want. First, dibs on something, being able to get it at a better price, or another set of eyes out there that's trying to find product for you in your reselling business. That's what all of this is about. And I'm trying to do it so it's a win-win for everybody. This is not being like manipulative or trying to stab somebody in the back, whatever all those negative connotations are that you want to, that's not what this is about. So in the course of this conversation, I identified who I was. I recognized to him that I got some great items, and he right away knew exactly who I was. He was happy to have me call, and I could tell by the tone of voice. And I said I wanted to come in again for this week. And he already started giving up information to me about pricing and what expectations were there. He actually at one point thanked me for, basically, he didn't say thank you, but he said that he was appreciative that I didn't like squabble over all of what the pricings were. He gave me a little bit of an idea as to why he prices with what he does, and I understand it. I recognized him. One of the things he brought in is the fact that he was well over a week of invested time and wages he paid to other people, that for him, he has to charge some of those prices to recoup back what costs that it was taking for him to be putting that event on. And I recognize that. I mean, it's not maybe not just that. There was a conversation, I told him I could recognize how much effort went into it, that he had brought in extra tables. And he made a comment about how many tables he has because of what his needs are in running that business, that he does need that extra table space, that he's got to have those on hand, meaning he had to go purchase them, he has to store them, haul them back and forth. That's a lot of different stuff. We all expect to get reimbursed for what efforts we make for, our necessary career, so to speak. So I acknowledged all of them with him. And I also made a mention to him in the course of the conversation. I said, because he was saying something to me about like, what was I already having sold the tree? And I said, oh no, I was buying that for myself. I said, I do have some things I'm looking for reselling, but some of the items are ones I wanted for myself. And in the course of the conversation, he actually said the words that he was appreciating that I was a straight shooter with him. So that's another thing, is when you're out there, there's no need to hide. I'm going to tell you, I have been through so many evolutions of what it means to be an e-commerce seller. There wasn't even a term of being an e-commerce seller when I first started. I have been in the middle of trade shows, acknowledged that I was going to be selling stuff on, at that time, I was mentioning that it was going to be on Amazon. I have had salespeople literally stop in the middle of a sentence, turn around and walk away and leave me standing there. I have been there. And you know what? I'm not apologetic for it. So I guess that's another thing, is don't be apologetic. They need you as much as you need them. And that's why I say it's got to be networking and it's got to be teamwork, because they're not selling anything in volume other than to people that's reselling like us. And not everybody's reselling. There's flea market people, there's, interior designers that's looking for stuff. So we're not all resellers on the same path or on the same level of what we're looking for. So don't be apologetic. I'm a reseller and I sell on eBay. Make it a point that that's part of what you're letting people know when you're out there. Like I said, I believe that people would much rather have that being given up front. And truthfully, if they're not going to want to sell to you, that's probably not the person you want to be doing business with anyway. Get it out there, get it known up front, because that's going to just start eliminating out for you who and where you want to go give your business to in the reselling world, or who's going to be there that you can network with. Not everybody is somebody you can network with. You're just going to have to accept that as well, that there's going to be competitors, that you're going to have to start understanding who's going to be there for you and help you. That could be fellow people at the estate sales. That's part of what I've been doing too, is in networking, is learning who's in it. And listen, everybody's paying attention to who's buying what items. And it happens in several of these videos I've mentioned. I acknowledged to some people who got items that I wanted and said, hey, good for you, because I've been a firm believer in what is meant for you is meant for you. I've said that before. If they got something that you didn't, it was just meant for them, that's all. And acknowledge it to them and thank them. And I'm going to tell you, I did a video on where I gave away an item that probably had a retail price of well over $500. That person that I gave that to is going to be way more receptive to me in the future. And I'm not saying it has to be something that I'm looking for them to repay me back for. I don't know. Maybe they're going to be the person that I can't get to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning to get that ticket. And I say, hey, just grab a second one for me, please, because I can't get there. Maybe I got to run to go to the bathroom and they save a spot. I'm just telling you, these are the networking things that you can do that don't have to cost you any money. It doesn't have to cost you any loss of sales. I mean, in the example with, I said when I gave away this item that could be $500, I didn't lose $500 because I never had it to begin with, and it was going to cost me more time in researching that item. So it didn't cost me anything. That's part of what you have to understand too, is that if you have to be gracious enough to give something up so that it's the right thing to do, just do it. It's going to become a payback in some way. And that's with your fellow shoppers. Maybe an estate sale company didn't price up or didn't charge you correctly, and you have to let them know. Be honest, be upfront. I'm telling you, it will always come back to benefit you. I'm a firm believer in you reap what you sow, or what goes around comes around. So be upfront, tell them what you're doing. Also in there, I had a conversation with him, and I just flat out said to him, I said, I have wondered what happens after the sale. Are you entertaining bulk buying? And he said, oh, definitely. He said, I would be happy to work with you on that. And I was like, really? I said, well, there was items last week that truthfully, I think I was over my tally is what I said to him, or over my budget. I didn't know exactly how much I was, with what I had already gotten. There was some really good things, and I didn't say to him, I thought that I could get a better price. No, I didn't have to say that to him. I just said, I thought about coming back later on your third day. Sorry. So I said to him, I said, truthfully, it takes me about an hour to get to the sale. I was thinking about coming back on the third day. Again, honesty. I said, but, there were some good things, and I kind of regretted that I passed over them. And I wondered if you would do any better deals after the sale. And he said, definitely. I would be more than happy to have conversations about bulk buying after the fact. And I thought, great. Because like I said, some of these people do buy for themselves for different reasons. I'm not caring about what all that is. But yes, he's willing to entertain after the fact. And he even said to me, he said, I didn't want to take this chance coming this extra hour, and the stuff just wasn't there or whatever. And he says, well, you can always text me and I'll send you updated pictures of what's left. So now he's willing to do bulk buying after the sale. Now he's offered to send me updated pictures, so I even know if it's worthwhile to come after the fact. And I said, well, that would be great. I said, because, you know, I had an interest in some of these items, but I didn't know if they were going to be there. And he's also offered to have, he still says he has access to stuff after the fact. He's going to take pictures for me for the sale for last week and see if there's still anything from that sale that he's going to entertain and ask if I want to get. So I'm telling you, when you can network, when you can ask questions, not become very defensive in it or being very offensive in what you're saying, and just ask. Try to get educated on what their world looks like. They're going to bring opportunities to you because it's going to be an opportunity for them too. So don't hide things. Come out, be very upfront with things. I have many stories about that, and there's so much product. You don't have to worry about what got away, because there will always become something else. If it was meant for you, it will be there. I hope you got some inspiration out of this. I would appreciate a thumbs up if you did. I would highly recommend you checking out the part 1. It would kind of maybe give you a little bit more insight as to what I'm talking about here in part 2. And I'm going to catch you in the next one. I would really ask a favor before you go, is could you hit the subscribe button down below? Help me grow this channel. It'll also help other people, because as the channel grows, it's going to push me out to the new people that could learn from all of these. I would highly recommend leaving a comment for me. If you're finding some other inspiration that I didn't, or maybe you have something to share, that is another consideration that would help me grow too. I am very open to learning from everybody. I would highly, highly appreciate that. And I'll say bye for now, and I'll catch you in the next one.